Hello and very good morning, the students of class 7D and class 7E. My dear students, I hope you all are well, and I believe that you all are doing uh, practice of mathematics very well. If you find any difficulty at any point, you are free to ask. I have already prepared you a separate WhatsApp group for math discussion where you have to discuss all your problems, and I will give you all types of solution. So, my dear students, let's move on. Yesterday, I was uh, take a little small math test, and I hope you have understand what is the concept of the maths. Today, I will share you the answer as well of this previous maths test. So, if you have any confusion, so you will see the answers. So, my dear students, before moving to this next chapter, I just want to tell you one thing. That is, I'll just going to share you the screen as well. Okay. Now, my dear students, as you can see on page number 18 and 19, there are 18 and two pages of MCQ are given. Okay. So you need to solve this MCQ on your book. And if you find any difficulty at any point, you should ask me. Okay. You should solve this MCQs by your own. Now, my dear students, let's move on. Today we are going to discuss the new chapter, that is fraction, which is given on page number 21. So as you can see, this is chapter of fraction. I hope you have little bit understanding about the fraction, and if you don't know anything about this fraction, so today I will give you the introduction of this chapter fraction, where we will understand what is fraction and how we will deal with this fractions. So I hope that you will enjoy this session, and if you find any difficulty at any point, you can ask this question. Now, my dear students, today's topic is fraction. Okay. Today's topic is fraction. This is chapter number 2. Chapter 2 is fraction. Now, my dear students, let's focus on what is fraction and how we will deal with this. Okay. So, my dear students, any number which is written in that form. Suppose the number is a upon b, and in between a and b there is a small line, or I can say like this. So a small line between a and b, or a number written in that form, a upon b, where a is called numerator, a is called numerator, a is called numerator, a is called numerator. I'll just write down the spelling numerator. I just wait for a second. Okay. A is called numerator. Where and b is called denominator. B is called denominator. So, my dear students, A is called numerator and B is called denominator. And this A and B collectively forms our equation, which is called fraction. And this A upon B is called, and collectively, if we have combined these equations, A upon B, or you can say, if we combine this equation, this is called fraction. This is called fraction. I hope, student, you can understand. The number is written in the form of a upon b, where a is the numerator and b is the denominator, and the number written in that fashion, this a upon b is called fraction. So, my dear students, I hope you don't have any problem. So, if the number is written in that form, suppose the number is written like 5 upon 6, or suppose the number is written as 5 upon 6. This is a fraction. Similarly, I will take few more example. Suppose I write the number in that fashion. 8 upon 9. This is also a fraction. Similarly, if I can write 12 upon 5, this 12 upon 5 is also a fraction. And the same way, if I write the number in that fashion, this is all about fraction. So I hope you can understand this concept. So my dear students, this is all about fraction. So my dear students, today I will as I tell you earlier that this is the introductory part. So I will tell you the basic thing that you should know about the fractions. So dear students, first of all, we need to understand how many types of fractions are. So there are various types of fractions. If I'm talk about types of fractions, so there are various types of fraction. The first one is proper fraction. Second is improper fraction. Third is mixed fraction. So my dear student, mainly three types of fractions are there: proper fraction, improper fraction, and mixed fraction. So we have to divide this fraction in main parts. We can further divide the you can say the fraction that we have discussed later. But we have to categorize the fraction in mainly three categories: proper fraction, improper fraction, and mixed fraction. So my dear students, let's see what are these fractions and how we will disintegrate between this proper, mixed, and improper fraction. So just wait for a second. And I hope if you have any problem, so if you want to note down this thing, note down these things, so that you are free to do this. Okay, my dear student, I am repeating myself again. If you want to write down this thing again, then you are free to do this. Okay, there is no problem in this. Okay, now my dear students, just wait for a while. I'm just going to delete all these things and just continue with the new page. Okay, my dear students. So my dear students, first of all, we need to understand what is mixed fraction. First is proper fraction. My dear students, if a fraction is called proper fraction, if number is written in that fashion. Suppose number is written in that fashion. I mean, just hold on. Okay. Suppose the number is written in that fashion. Wait for a second. Number is written like 12 upon 15. As you can see, my dear students, the number is written 12 upon 15. So you can see that here, if we write the same number in A upon B format, so you know that 12 is a numerator. I mean just leave it now for that. The 12 is numerator. Numerator, or I just write n and denote the numerator, and 13 is a denominator. I just denote by d. Denominator is denoted by d and numerator is denoted by n. So you can see that this 12 upon 13, which is in the form of numerator upon denominator, denominator is 15. Okay, as you can see that denominator is greater than numerator. You know that 15 is greater than 12. 15 is greater than 12. Okay, So if in any fraction where denominator is greater than numerator, so this type of fraction is called proper fraction. So if I can categorize this fraction, so this is a proper fraction. This is a proper fraction because uh, 15 is greater than 12, that is denominator is greater than numerator. This is called proper fraction. So my dear student, in the same fashion, I will going to give you a few more examples so you can easily understand. Just wait for a second. Suppose I'll just write one more equation. I need to write separately. Suppose a number written like this. 10 upon 20. So my dear students, you can easily see this. The fraction is in the form of numerator upon denominator, and you can see that denominator is greater than numerator. So this fraction is a proper fraction because numerator is greater than denominator. As you can see, denominator is greater than numerator as because 20 is greater than 10. That means this fraction is what? This fraction is a proper fraction. So if anyone can ask what is proper fraction, and a fraction in a way numerator is greater than denominator. Numerator is greater than denominator. Numerator is lesser, or you can say denominator is greater than numerator. I just write in definite way. Denominator is greater than numerator. My student, I hope you have understand this point that fraction is a way, in a way denominator is greater than numerator is called proper fraction. I think this is the easiest way to understand. So I hope you can understand this thing. So my dear students, let's take few more example. I think you have understand this. Now let's move on to the second matrix, that is second type of fraction, that is improper fraction. Now understand what is improper fraction. My dear student, as it is improper, so things will opposite now. In this improper fraction, numerator is greater than denominator. I'll just see you the example. Suppose a number written like this, 20 upon 10, where you can notice that numerator is greater than denominator. You can see that 20 is greater than 10. That means numerator is greater than denominator. That means this number is a improper fraction. Just because of that number, the numerator is greater than denominator. So this type of condition is called improper fraction. So my dear student, I will give you a few more examples for better understanding. Suppose I'll take one more example. Suppose I'll take the number in that fashion. 25 upon 50. My dear students, you can see that 25 is You can say that is I mean sorry, 50 upon 25. So my dear student, as you can see that here numerator is greater than denominator. You know, you notice that 50 is greater than 25 and 50 is placed at numerator and 25 placed at denominator. So this type of fraction is called improper fraction. So my dear student, I hope you don't have any doubt at this point. Again, I'm repeating myself. If if denominator is greater than numerator, if denominator is greater than numerator, then this type of fraction is called proper fraction. As you can see, 12 upon 15, where 15 is greater than 12, so this is proper fraction. And if the numerator is greater than denominator, this type of fraction is called improper fraction. Now my dear student, let's move on, and we have to discuss one special type of fraction, that is called mixed fraction. This is called mixed fraction. My dear students, as you know that what is mixed fraction, so we have to simply know this fact that a mixed fraction is a way that is written in that form. Suppose a number written in that form, okay, five whole number 2 upon 6. So my dear student, as you can see that the number 5 whole number 2 upon 6, we can read this number as 5 whole number 5 whole number 2 upon 6. So this 5 is written as 5 whole number, and we can read this thing 2 upon 6. So this type of fraction where number written in that form 5 whole number 2 upon 6, this type of fraction is called mixed fraction. I will give you few more examples for better understanding. Suppose I will take one more example. This is 8 whole number 2 upon 6. This is also a whole number where 8 is a whole number and 2 upon 6. We can read 8 whole number 2 upon 6. So this type of fraction is called mixed fraction. Okay. So if we can define mixed fraction, so we can say that mixed fraction are the combination of whole number and a proper fraction. Okay, so it is a combination of if anyone asks what is whole number, so you can say that whole you can say that mixed fraction, sorry, mixed fraction is a combination of whole number and proper fraction. My dear student, I hope you have get this point. So my dear students, now this is the basic fundamentals. Now I'm just tell you what are like fraction, what are unlike fractions. So my dear students, what are like fraction, what are unlike fraction, we need to understand that. What are like first of all we need to understand what are like fractions. Okay, so my dear student, what are like fractions? These are the four type of fraction, that is like fractions. So I'll just wait for a second. Okay, my dear student, we have already discussed about proper, improper and mixed fraction. Now we'll be discussing about further more types of fraction. The fourth one is a like fraction. Fifth one is unlike fraction. Last but not least is unit fraction. Okay, my dear student, let's understand like, unlike, and unit fractions. So we have to classify this thing. So suppose number is, I just share you the screen just straight away. Okay, my dear students, the fourth is like fraction. Like fraction can be defined as suppose 1 upon, suppose 3 upon 5, two upon 5, oh, and one more fraction. I'll take this 1 upon 2 upon 5, 1 upon 5. So I just need to hold this thought. So my dear student, you can see that this 3 upon 5 and 2 upon 5, both the number have common 5. So this type of, when the fraction having common denominator, when the fraction having common denominator is called like fraction. It's called like fraction. So I'll just give you a few more examples for better understanding. Just wait for a while. Okay. My dear students, suppose I write the number, following numbers. I'm just my dear students, these are the fraction 5 upon 8, 6 upon 8, 7 upon 8, 9 upon 8. You can see that all have common denominators. So the fractions having common denominator is called like fractions. A fraction having common denominator is called like fraction. तो my dear student, जब fraction में common denominator होता है तो इस तरीके की conditions को क्या बोलते हैं? Like fractions. Similarly, again, what are unlike fractions? It is just opposite unlike fractions. You can easily draw the conclusion. A fraction having no common no common denominator is called unlike fractions. So I'll just tell you what are unlike fractions. Suppose बच्चों मैंने कोई fractions लिखता हूँ, उनमें भी denominator कोई भी common नहीं होगा. You can see that is 5/6, 7/8, 9/10. My dear student, you can see that these fractions have no common denominator. You can see the 6, 8, 10. All three are different denominators. So this type of fraction is called unlike fractions, and the fractions having common denominator, as you can see just above, 8, 8, 8, 8 in the fraction. So this type of fraction is called like fractions. So now let's move on. So after the like and unlike fraction, now we have to understand what is unit fraction. Unit fractions. My dear student, what are unit fractions? Our number of fraction is written in that format: 1/5 or 1/3 and 1/7. So as you can see, my dear students, all the fractions, all these numbers, all the fractions having common numerator. All the fractions having common numerator. You can see that all the fraction having common numerator, that is 1, that is 7. So this type of fraction is called unit fraction. So our fraction having common numerator is called a fraction having common unit is called you can unit fraction, and a fraction having numerator is unit or 1 is called unit fraction. So if I can define this, a fraction having, I can write here only, a fraction having numerator having 1 is called unit fraction. I hope you get the point. Okay. Now, my dear student, let's wind up this session. And I hope you have to understand this chapter very well. This is the introductory part. So tomorrow I will continue this chapter. So before that, I want all of you just complete all the work. And if you find any difficulty at any point, you may ask. Okay. Thank you, class. Have a nice day.